Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, we will talk about how do you create expert level articles from the keywords that you researched, and how do you write expert articles in 30 minutes to 1 hour, and how do you overcome writer's block. So as an overview, what we will learn today is what's the problem of most articles on the internet and why this skill is important. What are the benefits if you learn this skill? What are they in the first place? What are expert level articles? What's the difference of expert level articles versus ordinary articles? What are the benefits to your website, to your marketing campaign of expert level articles? And we'll talk about the 11 principles for creating expert level articles. So this is a big topic. Here's how you can avoid getting overwhelmed. The first is to take baby steps, because small steps build momentum. Now, the entrepreneur Brian Tracy once taught, if you are going to eat a big elephant, how do you eat it all? So eat the elephant one bite at a time. I will teach you and I will share with you 11 principles. And if you start using these 11 principles one small part at a time, you can then become better at it. You can then begin to master it. And then eventually you will be able to combine those 11 principles together. You may want to repeat this training at least 3 times, because this is a bit of a high level and it may be a little bit of a difficult training, especially if you don't have any background in marketing or in education marketing. And you will encounter many new principles here. So it might be beneficial for you, or if not for you, you can have your writer or your SEO team to watch it at least 3 times for best results. Now, here's the problem of most articles on the internet and why the skill is so important. Most articles written on the internet are not expert level articles. Unfortunately, writers all over the internet, from websites such as iWriter, Craigslist, Upwork, online jobs, they generally don't have the skill, and what's more, they are unwilling to spend the time to learn this expert positioning principles, even if you pay them to learn it. I mean, why are they not willing to learn it? Because they're already busy making a living and they don't have time for the learning. That's the sad truth. And this is why it's very important that if you have a team, you want to ensure that these skills are really in your company. And here's the benefit to you. If you are a writer, if you are an SEO, this is a rare and very important skill. This skill will help you or your clients achieve increase in traffic to your website, improve social media results, and get better search engine rankings. You will become more valuable to the company you work for. And whatever organization or industry, you can use these 11 expert positioning, these 11 education marketing principles, whether that's in work, in church, in your assembly, in a non-profit group, whatever industry, you can use these principles. The 11 principles on expert positioning can be used for creating articles, presentations, seminars, books, videos and audios, webinars. You can use it to teach on any topic. You can use it in your selling or your marketing. You can use it in SEO and social media. So these 11 principles are very powerful. So first, what are expert level articles? These are articles written by ordinary people like you and me, but the quality of the article or the content is as if an expert on the industry has written them. This is because expert level articles follow several principles and frameworks, 11 of which we will discuss in this video. If you use these principles and the frameworks, you too can create expert level articles. So here's the difference of expert level articles if you compare them with ordinary articles. Well, ordinary articles are simply articles that are rewritten, reworded, they look unique, and the grammar and spelling are okay, but it doesn't have the structure. It doesn't have the principles. It doesn't use any frameworks. And it's fine because it's research from free sources on the internet, and that's fine. However, it's not as powerful as expert level articles. Now, here's the difference. Expert level articles follow certain principles, the 11 principles that I will share with you, that position the writer as an expert in the industry. And what's more, they are also unique, and the grammar and the spelling are okay. So here are some benefits of the expert level articles. They increase your traffic to your website. They improve the search engine optimization. They improve your social media marketing. They position your company as an authority in your industry. You gain the advantage over your business competitors. And if you distribute articles that are ordinary in the social media, in the search engines, in the internet, it's not that effective. I mean, everyone else is doing it. But if you distribute expert level articles, it is more effective. You position yourself, higher or better than your competitor, and Google loves it. Another benefit of expert level articles is you learn how to teach better, you learn how to convince better, you learn how to sell without having to hard sell, without having to force that sell, and then learn how to sell by using education marketing. But here's the challenge. How do you write expert level articles even when you don't have a lot of knowledge, experience, and background? How do you become an expert in a topic that you don't know that well yet? And how do you improve your research process? Now, if you are a writer or an SEO or a social media marketer, you may encounter this challenge a lot because you're going to be given industries, niches, or topics that you're really not familiar with. And that's totally fine. So the answer to these 3 questions is use expert positioning principles. So expert positioning principles are principles that position you as an expert. And this is mainly based on the Brendon Burchard's training. He was one of the speakers there at the Ultimate Business Mastery, and he is a New York Times best-selling author. Now, if you follow expert positioning principles, you can position yourself as an expert faster in any industry. Now, each of these 11 principles that I'm going to talk to you next can be used on its own. It can also be combined with the other principles, and you can also use them in any sequence that fits whatever topic you're working on right now. So keep these principles in mind as you are doing your research in any industry. So principle number 1 is to write so a 5-year-old can understand. When you write and when you research, when you write so that it's easy to understand for ordinary people. So that even undergraduates and ordinary people can understand. You don't want to talk to the brightest, the most academic, the one with 100% grade in school. You want to talk to the ordinary people who have low grades in school. They may have C grade in English. They may not have the vocabulary that you have. So you want to remove flowery words, remove fluff, remove unnecessary words, you remove unnecessary paragraphs, and talk straight to the point. You want to explain technical terms. What does the term mean? And don't assume readers know. Because sometimes there are situations when you really have to mention a technical term. There's no way around it, but you have to explain it so that a 5-year-old can understand. So this principle is based on Dan Kennedy's book, The Ultimate Sales Letter. And if you're not familiar with Dan Kennedy is one of the leading sales copywriters in the world, one of the best sales copywriters in the world. So principle number 2 is an expert answers these 6 questions. So an expert answers in any industry, why is this important for the reader to read? What is it? How does it work? What are the things that the reader needs to do? And what if any situation, replace that with any situation, what do I need to do? And the expert also answers, take action now. You need to ask your reader, to take action and give them the next step. Principle 3. An expert answers, what should the readers focus on? What should the readers not focus on? What do they spend their time on? And what should they not spend their time on? So remember, these principles can be used on its own. You can combine them, use them in any sequence. And you also, as you are doing your research, you want to keep these principles in mind because you will begin to see them from the articles that you research in books, in the internet. You're going to begin to see the pieces that you will need in order to answer those questions. So far you've learned 3 principles. First is to write it simply so that 5-year-olds and undergraduates and ordinary people can understand. The second principle is you answer 6 questions. Why is this important for the reader to read? What is it? How does it work? What are the things I need to do? What if? And then you replace that with any situation. What do the readers need to do in that situation? And then ask the readers to take action now and tell them the next steps. Principle 3, what should the readers focus on and what not to focus on? So experts answer that question. Principle 4 are the 3 T's of training. First, you tell them what you're going to tell them. You give them an outline at the top or a summary at the top. You tell them the details and you tell them what you just told them. You give them a recap. So you might begin to notice that as I'm doing my presentation, I'm using these principles here, right in this presentation. So tell them what you're going to tell them, summary or outline, tell them the details, tell them what you just told them. You give them a recap. And then at the end, you give them a call to action. You ask them to do the next step, whatever that next step is. That's taking them to the website, going to the Facebook page, watching a video, so buying a product, whatever that action that you want them to do at this point is. Principle number 5, myths versus truth. Experts tell you what are the myths in the industry, and experts tell you what are the truths in the industry. Principle 6, fears, angers, frustrations, dreams, and aspirations. So as you are writing your content, as you are doing your research, you want to mention, you want to incorporate the fears of your readers, their angers, their frustrations, their dreams, and their aspirations. And you can learn this by understanding the market. And one quick way to do this without having to spend a lot of time researching, asking people, is just study your competitors. Look at their website because many of your competitors have already done this research. So look at their website, read the content on their website, and see how they address the reader's emotions. What are the fears that they mention? What are the angers that they mention? What are the frustrations that they mention? What are the dreams and aspirations? And what are the things that keeps the readers up awake at night? And the nightmare stories that readers can avoid if they follow your advice as an expert. So this is very important. Fears, angers, frustrations, dreams, and aspirations. The example of fears might be, are you afraid of, getting in debt? And then angers, are you frustrated of having that, the people around you are telling you that you can't do it? And then the frustrations, and then the dreams and aspirations. Do you want to finally get that dream job or get out of that 9-to-5? Do you want to have passive income? So these are the things that will trigger the emotions of your readers. So principle number 6, look at your competitor website. Again, this is the fears, angers, frustrations. And you want to look at your competitor website and study their sales copy. And there you will find the fears, angers, frustrations, dreams and aspirations, and the nightmare stories. You also want to read the positive and negative reviews of your competitors' products. Go to their website, read the 1-star or 2-star reviews, go to Amazon, go to other shopping websites on the internet, read the negative reviews there. You will begin to understand what makes people, emotional about something. And then you want to read what are people complaining about in your industry. And you can also look at online forums in your industry. Principle number 7 is to build credibility. Why is our company credible? So you want to answer these questions And of course, at the start, you may not know this yet if it's a new industry or a new company that you're working on. But if it's your company, then that's good. But you want to answer these questions. Number one, why is our company credible? What are the good things people say about our company? What is the history and background of our company? And how many years are we here? What are some relevant and interesting statistics from credible organizations in our industry? What does our company offer that our competitors don't offer? And what does a company do better than our competitors? So this is how you build credibility. You answer these questions here. So if you are a writer or an SEO or social media marketer, you can just search for this on the website of the company, on their catalogs, on their, study the entire website, the entire videos, the resources that are there online. And chances are you can answer some of these. And if any question is not answered, go and ask the client. So quick recap, you learned these principles so far. Principle 1 is write so a 5-year-old can understand. Principle 2 is you answer the 6 questions. Why should the readers read this? What is it? How does it work? What are the steps they need to do? And what if something happens? What will they do in that situation? And then what do they need to do next? So principle number 3 is expert answer. What to focus on and what not to focus on. And the principle number 4 is the 3 T's of training. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them the details. Tell them what you just told them. So you give them a summary or an outline at the top. You give them the details. You give them the recap. And you ask them to take action. So number 5 is myths versus truths. You tell them the myths in the industry and the truth. Number 6, the fears, angers, frustrations, dreams, and aspirations. And the principle number 7 is the build credibility. You answer the different questions that address the credibility. So principle number 8 is the qualifying criteria. Now, this might be a new term to you, but qualifying criteria means it's simply the criteria that people need to look for before buying a product or a service. Okay, so one simple criteria might be it needs to be high quality, it needs to be high quantity, and it needs to be, affordable or reasonable for the price. So the qualifying criteria, the purpose is to transition from educating the clients to actually starting to sell your products and the services. And you usually put the qualifying criteria near the end of your article or your presentation. So what are the things you need to look for? So this is how you come up with the qualifying criteria. What are the things you need to look for before buying from a company in your industry? How does a company meet each of these criteria? And then you explain why we are the perfect fit. And then you ask them to take action now, and you mention the benefits of taking action now. So that is the qualifying criteria. Principle number 9 is the pyramid structure. The pyramid structure, you start your article with a summary. The next paragraph will go into the details. The next will go into even more detail. And you can proceed with even more detail. So it looks like a pyramid. So you can combine this also with the 3 T's of training by adding an outline at the top. And you can also add a summary at the end. So principle number 10 is the 10 by 10 by 4 formula. This is based on Mike Koenigs, another speaker at UBMS, also the owner of TrafficGeyser.com. Write down the 10 frequently asked questions in your industry so you can research this on the website and on the internet, on Google. Write down the 10 should ask questions. These are the questions that the readers may not know enough to ask because they are still new in the industry, but you as the expert, you need to tell them that these are the questions that you need to ask. And then you answer these questions one by one. And then you can also ask your client to help you answer these questions. But if they are busy, you need to do the research yourself. So you end up with 20 videos in all. And then 20 videos or articles. You record, or the client records 4 short videos. The first video is to get more. Go to this link. And then the second video is enter your name and email to get all 20 videos or articles. The video 3 is thank you for signing up. And the video 4 is buy my stuff. Again, you may not be the one to make this, but I just wanted you to know that this is kind of the process. You can use this to come up with, 10 articles, frequently asked questions, 10 should ask question articles, and then the client can come up with the 4 videos. So principle 11, which is the last principle, is utilize multiple media formats. You create an article, you turn it into a video, and again, this does not have to be you. It can be another person who is specialized in just producing the video. You grab the audio from the video and then turn it into a podcast. Turn the article into a PDF file. Structure the articles into an ebook or a PDF, whether that's hard copy or a soft copy, a physical versus an electronic copy. You distribute these materials for social media and search engine optimization. So quick recap, the new principles you learned are principle 8, qualifying criteria, what to look for, what the readers need to look for, and you need to answer, how do we fit those criteria so that they will buy from us? And then principle number 9 is the pyramid structure, and then the 10 by 10 by 4 formula, and then the multiple media formats. You make an article, turn that into a video, an audio, a PDF, an ebook, and distribute in social media and search engine optimization.